Okay, like I said, say Devin Haney goes on this win streak. Now he's 50-0. Now he's 51-0. I mean, he's moved up, four-time division champion. He says, I want to retire undefeated 51-0. The public is not going to accept that. They're going to say, no, you're not 51-0. You're not undefeated. I mean, yeah, you didn't want to see it anymore. Justice was served, but you're not undefeated. You still lost. Even though they gave you your O back, even though this guy got suspended or whatever, you still lost. And the public eye in the boxing world, you still lost. And they want to say something about Ryan Garcia. Maybe he's the one that got caught. But this stuff's been going around for a lot of times. I mean, you see fighters. I mean, come on. It is what it is, and I'm going deep, but it's okay.
Hey, open the door, all right?
No,
Open
it's
the
open.
door, huh? Yeah.
But what's your
Yeah,
take
man.
on that? I mean, like you said before, it's a loss, but it's also a learning lesson. Move on. We're not saying it's right, but just put it behind you and continue to be the same person that you were leading up to the fight, and learn from that left hook or learn from that adversity you have to overcome now. Because the next fight, all eyes are going to be on him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, it made me think of a old memory of me when I was a kid and got in trouble,
Yeah.
right? So like me and my brother was doing something, right? And we was messing up, right? We was cutting up. And my brother gets caught, right? And he goes, "Well, Shane was doing it too." And I'm like, "Bruh, like I was in the clear, man. How you on?
You're
What's
the one that
up,
got
bro?
caught. You're the
Like,
one slow when I ran.
yeah, you're the one that got in trouble, not me. Why you bringing me into it?" But rather than saying, you know what, my brother's wrong and my brother's the one that got caught, let me look inward and go, you know what? There was some things that maybe I shouldn't have been doing that. Maybe I shouldn't have been messing up. And maybe if I didn't put myself in that situation, he would have been the only one that got
Yeah.
caught. Or you know what I mean? Maybe if I would have put myself in that, because imagine how great he would have looked if he would have schooled Ryan Garcia and then Ryan Garcia would have came out
Yeah.
and been on steroids. Not only did I beat you, but you were even on steroids and you couldn't stop me.
Yeah.
Imagine how good you look,
Yeah.
right? So
It,
I say
it's
all
been
that to
it's been
say
done
that, like,
before. It's been done before.
yeah,
People have beaten people who later the loser test and they came out positive.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like the example I gave
Yeah,
earlier, and
exactly.
like I said, I'm not trying to shame nobody. I love you, Fernando, but I mean, he got caught when he fought my dad as well as when he fought Oscar. So it's like, you know what I mean, and these guys were just better than him. You know what I mean? Like, that night, and I do believe that Fernando was a great fighter and is a great fighter, but he did come up short when it came to these other two guys, other guys that he lost to.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they were just better that night, and they showed it, no matter if he was on steroids or not. So with that being said, you had that opportunity. You had that opportunity to show that you could have been the better fighter, and nobody doubts the skill that Devin Haney has. Nobody doubts the skill. So we know that you have the skill. And me, as an outsider looking in, somebody that knows boxing very well, somebody who's been around him personally and has seen his mastery, I know that he could have beat a guy like Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? I just think it was a very bad game plan.
I agree with the game
Now,
plan. If they do run it back, I don't see the same style coming from Devin Haney. I see him sticking and moving and just using the whole ring. And I told his dad he reminds me of a modern day Terry Norris, when Terry Norris was on his toes, sticking, moving, boxing beautifully, and when he got knocked out against Simon Brown, the rematch. He didn't trade with Simon. He gave Simon a boxing lesson completely. It was like 9 rounds to 3, if not 10 to 2 on that rematch.
yeah,
You're definitely not going to come in
yeah,
the same way. So he has a chance to run it back and maybe erase it that way, or the doubt, you could say clean rematch, but fight what got you there. the victories that got you there against the Regis Prograis, which I think was a close fight, against Lomachenko. Um, but now you have an opportunity. You're behind the steering wheel. You get to drive wherever you want. And you already know this.
Yeah.
He vacated his belt. He decided not to. Hasn't been really official yet. Not to defend against. I believe he was going to fight Martin, which is not an easy fight. He beat Mikey Garcia. A lot of people thought he beat Teofimo Lopez as well. He is not an easy fight for anybody. I think that would have been a terrible matchup for Devin Haney coming off this performance against Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. I'm unsure of if you know if you move on just completely, or do you run it back with him, or Ryan Garcia, that is. From what it seemed like, he wants to like immediately, you know, get back. So when Ryan's done with his year, he said he wants to fight him right after. So I mean, do you wait that long?
I think Devin
You know what I
should at
mean?
least take
Like,
the rest of this year off. You got to remember, he didn't just lose. He got his hat handed to him.
yeah, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, do you want that to be your first fight back? You know what I mean? Like, is that like the fight you want to be your first fight back? You know?
That's not a guarantee because Ryan has called everybody out, and he does it for exposure, and I like it. When he even called out David Benavidez. So what does that tell you? He called out Virgil Ortiz. Um, he even called out Anthony Joshua. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, I want him to call out Shane Mosley Jr. at 168 and see what time it is. Make it happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if you
yeah.
sit
No,
there and
I
wait
mean,
for him to
hey,
run it back against Ryan Garcia, there's no guarantee he's going to be there. And there's no guarantee what he's going to do next. Take some time off and
but
fight somebody in the top 10 and then move forward.
another thing too is like these are grown boys. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily small
No.
guys. So it's like the longer you guys aren't fighting and enjoying the luxuries, you know, that you've gained for yourself, which is, you know, the money. I'm sure, you know what I mean, the gym ain't gonna be calling your name very, very soon,
No.
especially if you're taking a year off and, you know, all the, like I said, all the luxuries of calling your name. Um, you know what I mean? Is that, you know, I mean, you're gonna put yourself in a new weight class
Two
and a
weight
new weight
classes. You're
class
going to
with,
skip. Ryan Garcia looks 185 pounds right now.
yeah, man. And so what? He's gonna come back at 150, 154, 147? You think he wants, I mean, not to say that he can't
Yeah.
deal with those guys, but
It,
you
he
know,
needs
like,
to
do you
come in
want to go
no
from
heavier than
140 to,
147.
yeah, I mean, do you want to deal with that right now? You know what I mean? Like, is that something that you want to deal with? I
No,
don't
he don't
know.
want to deal with that right
Even Devin
now.
Haney,
He's going to live the life
and
right
even Devin
now.
Haney,
And then, but when that year's coming up,
and
don't
Devin
wait for the
Haney as
last
well.
moment.
Like I said, even Devin Haney as well. He's, you know, he's got to deal with, you know, if he's not fighting, you know, he's taking some time off. You know what I mean? Like, he's a grown boy. I mean, and you know, I'm sure got a lot of luxury. You know what I mean? The first thing Bernard Hopkins said to me when I signed with Golden Boy was, he's like, you know, like, this game is about discipline. He's like, you know, he's like, it's easy to get. Well, he didn't say. He said, you know, champion. You can become champion, but what happens when you get the championship and you got that house that you want and you got those cars and you got a full refrigerator? That's when it gets difficult. He's like, it gets difficult when you got everything that you always dreamed of, and you got to go be disciplined. You got to go, you know, make make that money again. You got to go be
Yeah.
that guy that
That
got you
hungry guy.
here, but when you got everything that you already want. You know what I mean? That's when it's hard, and that's what I'm saying. Like these kids made, like, I mean, Ryan made 30 million for Javante. I'm sure they made a lot of money for this fight. You know what I mean? It's like these kids are making a lot of money.
They are.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of money. And I mean, obviously,
Shane, they're wearing
they
houses and cars around their neck. So what does that
exactly
tell you?
they chilling. They chilling. So, you know, like, if you're not doing your craft, if you know, taking this year off, if you know, it's like how serious are you going to be? How, and how difficult is that going to be that young fighter that you were when you've taken this year off? Are you going to come back and be the same guy? You know what I mean? And who knows?
Uh,
I guess that's for them to
that's a
answer.
very good question. Hey, have you been on your dad's podcast?
Yeah, well, remotely I've been
Okay.
on it, kind of like this.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had it, I think, in Puerto Rico,
Oh,
or
okay.
has it
Okay.
in Puerto Rico.
I want to have you
Yeah.
both on one time. One of these days, I want to have you both on.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love that. I'm sure that he would definitely enjoy
Yeah.
that. So,
I
yeah, maybe
love
we can
having
set
you
up
on,
some.
man. I could talk boxing with you all day long. I like listening to your answers because you don't just answer right away. You give it some thought, and you use now. You use different examples. I like your what's the word I'm looking
All
for? Your analogy. No, no, that's not how you say it. What was that? Analogies. Yeah, exactly. The way you put it together.
right,
Just like you said
yeah,
about that. I love that story with your brother. Well, Shane did it too. You're like, what the dude? You're the one who got caught. I mean, what's up with that? Hey, that's
yeah,
all
man,
real stuff,
and
though.
that's how you. Because that's how you feel
Yeah,
sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, man, like, why you blowing up my spot because you got
yeah,
caught? You know what I mean? And it's like, and everybody can relate to that. There's
exactly.
been a time, yeah, you know what I mean? If you got a brother, sibling, cousin, whatever the
Yep.
case is, they, you know what I mean? Y'all was doing whatever y'all was doing together, and he got caught, or she got caught, and it's like,
Was
hey,
me.
man, don't put me in your, that was
That was
you,
all you,
man.
bro. You
Yeah,
owned that thing.
but, you know what I mean? But if you're going to be honest with yourself and not let those things happen again. Because I never wanted to let that happen again, right? Like with my brother,
Yeah,
with the situation I had with my brother, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want my parents looking at me like that. I don't want that. So guess what I should do? I do it again, right? Not let it happen
yeah.
again,
Now it happened again.
right? I could be as mad as I want to be, and I can put the blame on him. Oh, he got me in trouble. He got me caught. Oh, it's all him.
Yeah,
No. It's me.
yeah.
Because if I wasn't there, if I wasn't sitting with him, guess what? We wouldn't even be talking about it.
That's right.
So that's how you gotta look at these things. But I don't want to hold you guys up too much.
I
I
appreciate you,
appreciate the
bro.
time.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you
I'm gonna
giving me.
put this in. And I'm gonna call it uncensored part two or whatever, or real talk after the show. The
Yeah,
show after the show. I'll put something on. That
love
may
it.
be something new because I like it.
Hey man, I like the show after the show. Speaking of analogies, so Prince, one of my favorite artists ever, right? So he would do his whole set, right, which would be crazy. Then he'd have incredible like encores,
Yeah.
right? Then he would go and do a VIP show for all the VIPs,
Wow.
and then after the VIP show, literally he would go and go to his house and had a jam session at his house.
I heard
The
he
guy
did
was
at his
insane.
house. I heard he would have jam sessions there.
He would have jam sessions, but the sessions would come after his VIP sessions that were separate from the concert and the encores. Literally, I was at the forum when he did one of his last shows. I think it was like in 2010 or 2009, something like that. And man, like literally, he went on at like I want to say 6 o'clock. His set didn't end until like 11,
Huh.
right? And like he's playing the whole entire time. Like it's
Wow.
not like oh like he's playing like he's literally playing the entire time. And then like sure enough, encore. Then they wanted him to play again. Like and so he didn't get off of the actual stage till about 11:30. I was literally asking the guard. I'm like, yo, the security guard. I'm like, yo, like how long does he like? Can we be here? And he's like, bro, whenever he wants to leave. Like literally, we'll be here as long as he wants to be. Like the security guard that's like like managing the whole thing. He's like he will be here as long as he wants. Like he has it's Prince,
Yeah.
bro. Like what are we gonna tell him? And so sure enough, right after that, we go to the VIP thing. He does like 2 hours there. Literally, everybody like because I was with the VIPs, and they're like, hey man, Shane, you want to go to Prince's house afterwards? And I'm like. bro, like what time? Like I'm still a young man at the time, 2010. I'm like 21,
Yeah.
22. I'm looking at my time. I'm like, it's about to be 2 o'clock in the morning. We going to his house? What? Are you kidding? And sure enough, like some of my buddies and obviously people that he had go with him, like they went to his house and had jam. He was like literally like we were there till about like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Hey, man.
But the
That's
show
why he's
after
a
the show,
symbol.
yeah, listen.
Hey, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, and all the crew, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.